chat box too. So when you give me answers later on, I can save all the answers just to look at what you wrote, and I can see who's doing the work and who's not listening, I guess. Anyway, so look at this equation here in blue. We got y equals ax squared plus b. And I've got a couple of sliders here, which means that I can change the value of a and I can change the value of b as well. So what I've done here, I've let b equal 0 first. So b is 0 and a is 1. So this is the graph y equals x squared. Okay, I'll just write that here, but it will disappear. So this is the graph y equals x squared, which you looked at the other day, I think yesterday. So what we do is, remember, when we change the value of a, the shape of this graph is going to change. So a is 1 now. What if we made a larger? Can you see how the graph is getting narrower? So as that number increases, say to 10, so this is the graph y equals 10x squared. So it's very narrow. But when we come back down, we'll go back to 1. And now we go, so 1 is there, but then we go less than 1. It's getting wider and wider now, isn't it? So it's approaching 0. So what happens when we get to 0? 0.2, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. But if you go to 0, a will be 0, won't it? So you'll end up with this blue line here. So this line along here, that's when a is 0 and b is 0. So that's the line y equals 0. Wait. Y equals 0. So that's the line y equals 0. And if it goes negative, then the graph will be upside down. So when this a value is a negative number, you can see your graph will be upside down. And when we make it larger negative, or smaller, I guess, then it's getting narrower and narrower again, down to -10 here. Okay, so that's when a is -10. So as we open it again, we get it going towards 0. It's still negative. And then when you get to 0, you'll get y equals 0, the line y equals 0. And then when your a is positive, it will get narrower in that direction. Okay, we did that yesterday, didn't we? And we spent quite a bit of time on that. Okay, so let's let a equal 1. Let's go back to y equals x squared. So what about this b here? So now I'm going to change this number here. So look at what happens with the graph. So b is 0. Actually, that's this number here. You see on the graph, b is 0 here. So what I'm going to do, if I make that larger, what happens to your graph? It goes up, doesn't it? So you can see it increasing. The shape didn't change, did it? Because I didn't change a. A is still 1. So what happens is that the graph will move up and down. Okay, and then we'll go down, negative 4 is down there, -2, 0, 2, 4. So the graph is just moving up and down like that. Okay. And then if we move it up, so for example, if we go up to 2, okay, so we got y equals x squared plus 2. So let's write that down. So you may want to take notes now because we're not using the book. X squared plus 2. So its x squared graph moved up 2 units because y equals x squared would have been down here. All right, so you've just gone up 2 units that far. Okay, and when you go down 2, we would have the graph down here. So this would be y equals x squared minus 2. All right, so that number on the end, that number, which is the constant, that will just move your graph up and down. And that's actually your y-intercept. So that's the y-intercept here, which is this number there, basically, that number. And 2, that's also that number there, okay? So we can move it up and down. We can change the shape of A. So if B is 2 and we want to change A, you can see now it just gets narrower and wider again, like that. And if we make it negative, it will turn upside down, like that. Okay, so up, down. That's what A does to your graph. But we'll leave it at 1, so it's not changing. So again, B will move the graph up and down. Okay, if I put it here, now go to your chat box and I want you to tell me what this equation is. So I'm not sure you can go to the chat. I think you can go to the chat box from here. Let's try it. So go to the chat box and send me a message. I want to know what this equation is. It's in this form here. And then the numbers are on this side. So y equals what? I think, yeah, you should be able to put in the chat box. So go to your chat box and send me a message. So it's going to be y equals what? What would you write in here? So go to my chat box and send me a message. Don't worry if you're wrong, but put something in. So what's this equation here? Using this information over here. Okay, so just spend a minute to do that and see if you can do that or not. So what's the equation? Actually, the information's already on your graph on the table already. Okay, so try that. Okay, I have one message already. So the rest of this, I'll give you a couple of minutes or 1 minute. Just type the number in. If you're doing a power, when you type in a power, x squared, you make that x hat 2. You can do it like that using that symbol. If you want to do x power 2, you can. That's what x squared is. Okay, I have 2 messages, so the rest of you try that. Don't worry if you're wrong. We'll do the answer in a minute anyway. I got 3 messages. So I just want the equation, and it's in this form over here in blue already. So just put those numbers in. It's actually already written for you, actually. I should hide that. Okay, 3 messages. Come on. This is your behavior score too. So put something in, right or wrong. If you can make a power 2 in your device, you can make a proper power 2 if you want. So instead of using item pool, I can use this like more quickly when I'm just talking in class. If I start asking students to answer, it will take too long. So I can record this chat session so I know what you're putting in. Okay, anyone else? Don't be long. Your score now will go to semester 2, okay, towards semester 2 score. And we may do a little bit of this work when we start back at school, a bit of the graphing, because I think our time is going to run out. But I've done your scores together already. So everyone's passed. Yeah, and many students get over 80%. So if you hand your work in on time and participate, your score should be over 80%. All right, I'll stop there anyway, because I think we had enough time. So for this graph, we got A is 1. Okay, be quick. Someone else still messaging. So we're going to have y equals A, which is 1, isn't it? That's what I set 1 to, but we don't write that. So you just write x squared. And the B value is -3, which is this number down here. So that's going to be -3. That's it. That's all you had to do, right? So let's do another one. Let's clear that. I'll just clear it out fully. So close that. So be quick with your answer. So, because I can check on the timestamp when I'm finished. So let's do another one. Right, what about that one? Okay, look at the information over here. 2.7. Okay, right, go to your chat box and write the equation in. Y equals what for this particular graph? Okay, write your equation in there, in the chat box. You've got decimals now, that's okay. But in this case, A is negative because now the graph is upside down. Okay, one answer. Keep going. Okay, anyone else? You just look at the information that's given in the table here. Just look at this information. You can't read the number from the graph, can you? Because we can't see that decimal, right? So we have to look here. So just write that equation down. Be careful about the sign. A is negative. Okay, even if you're wrong, just put something in. So I know that you're listening. Okay, keep going. We'll stop in a minute. Okay, the information is here. That's all you need.
ตัวกูตีโคตรแรงอ่ะแต่โคตรบางอะไม่เอาตัวที
โปรดไม่มึงอ่ะ
Prod, your phone, your mic is on. I think it's Prod, is it? Someone. Okay, so I'll stop there. So your equation now is going to be in this form, y equals ax squared plus b. So a is -0.1. And that's why your graph is upside down, because that a value is negative. So y equals -0.1 x squared, and b is 2.7. So plus 2.7. So that's your answer there for that one. Okay, so that's basically what it does to your graph. So A will change the shape, this value in front of the x squared. So let's set that back to 1. Right, and B is the number that moves it up and down. So when it's positive, it will go above the axis, like up here. And when it's negative, it will be below the axis. Okay. So I'm going to change this in here, this formula. I'm going to make a new formula now. I'm just going to take the A out. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make A be 1. So I'm going to put like a bracket there, x minus what I call h squared. And I'm going to make the last one k, because this is a normal notation we use. Okay, so we can do that for all. B is gone. So now we've got A, x minus h squared plus k. What I'm going to do with the A, I'm just going to delete the A out. So we're just going to let A be 1. You see, A is 1 here. So I'm going to cancel the A. I'm just going to let that be 1. We're not going to play with that today. So let's delete that one. And then we've got this equation here. So we've got x minus h squared plus k. So that's, this is called the vertex form of the parabola, the vertex form. So we'll talk about the words later on. But what we got here, we got hk, and this is set at 1, 1. You see, this is 1, 1. So we've got the equation. Let me write that on. Y equals x, h is 1. So x minus 1 squared, and k is plus 1. Okay, so that's for this graph here. So I've just written h and k into my value there. I've just put them in. So this is your equation 1. So if you want to copy this one, you can. And this will help you get an idea of what's going on. So just draw a quick sketch. So if you're using a tablet, can you just draw that curve? Just roughly where it is. And also note the vertex here is 1, 1. So x is 1 and y is 1. So this is the vertex 1, 1 for this particular question here. Okay, and I want to see what happens when we change h and k. So that's the equation. I'm just going to close that so we can look at what's going on. So what we'll do, we'll change the k first. So k is like the b in the previous question. If you change k, you see what happens to your graph? It's just moving up and down like that. So let's just move it down to there, down to the axis. K is 0, right? Down here. Now let's make h 0 again too. There. So what's that equation then? H is 0 and k is 0. So let's write that out. So h is 0 and k is 0. So y equals, let's write that out, x minus 0 squared plus 0. You can see what that's going to be. The 0 is gone and x minus 0 is x. So this is the graph y equals x squared. This one here, okay, when h is 0 and k is 0. And important, this formula has a negative sign here, a minus, a subtraction, not plus. Okay, so this general form, which you should learn, has a minus sign, not a plus sign in the formula. Okay, so as we said, k will go up. So let's go up to 4. So let's go to 4. What would be the equation then? That would be, let's write the general form. Y equals x minus h squared plus k. Okay, and in this case, h is 0. So this is gone. So you're going to get y equals x squared. H is 0, so ignore it. And k is 4. So that's like the previous section. Okay, where we've got x squared plus 4. Your vertex here is 0, 4. That's 0, 4. And this vertex is hk. That's actually the vertex, hk. So h is 0. Okay, it's not there. And k is 4. That's this number. It's probably confusing because unless you're used to this, it's going to take a little while. So basically, k will just move your graph up and down. Okay, what if we come up to 2? What do you think h does? This number. That relates to the vertex. So if we bring it positive, it will go to the positive direction. So let's go to 4 there. So here's another one you can sketch. So this vertex is 4, 2. So let's write that on. This is 4, 2. So this will make the graph, this one goes up or down. So take note of that. So this k value makes the graph go up or down. Plus number goes up and a negative number will make it go down. And h will go left or right. So if h is positive, it will go to the right side. And if h is negative, if h is a negative number, it will go to the left side. So your equation, let's write out the equation. So let's write that again. So this would be 4, 2, which is the vertex, and that's hk. That's this point here, always. So let's write our general form. Y equals x minus h squared plus k. Now, h is 4 and k is 2. So y equals x minus 4 squared and k is 2 plus 2. So that's the equation of this line here. And hk is the vertex. So that's going to be 4 and 2. That's the vertex. Not minus 4. X minus h. H is 4. Okay, for the vertex. Your line of symmetry goes this way. And that is x equals, what's this number? 4. Here, 4. X equals 4. So that's your line of symmetry. Okay, your minimum value. Look at this number here. So the minimum value is 2. So we could say the minimum value, I'll leave this on for a little while. You should just sketch this somewhere, okay? The minimum value equals 2. So, or you can say y equals 2 because this is the y-axis, isn't it? So y equals 2. You can write that as well. So imagine you're walking down. If you're walking down this slope, you'll come down to here, and this will be the lowest point you come to. And then you start walking up again. So the lowest point is 2. That's the minimum. And this opens upwards as well, doesn't it? Opens up. Let's try that. Opens up. Okay, let's try another one. You got that? That's just some basic information. It's in the book too, but the book's got a lot of other stuff too. So let's just change H. Get out of the pen. So let's change h across, but now make it on the negative side here. Let's just move it to there. So what's your vertex now then? Your vertex is this point, right? So I'll mark it again. So this is the vertex, which is -2, 2. That's your lowest point. So your minimum is going to be 2 again. Your minimum point is 2, or y equals 2. So let's just write our general form here. So y equals x minus h squared plus k. Okay, so that's the general form. It always has a minus sign, not plus, for the equation, the general form. So then we put these numbers in our equation to get into our general form. So this is h and k. So you can see here, h is -2 this time. And k is 2 on that side. So then we'll just substitute them in here. So y equals x minus -2, because h is -2 squared plus 2, like that. Now, minus negative, we normally make that positive, don't we? Because minus times a minus is positive. So y equals x plus 2 squared plus 2. So be careful with the plus 2. It's kind of seems strange, doesn't it? Because you're going negative, you're going in this direction, but it's plus 2. It's just one thing you have to get used to, because the general form is negative. So you need to change this negative to plus. Okay, you should probably copy that down. So can you write that for a minute somewhere? And your line of symmetry is x equals -2. Now we've moved on to the other side. X equals -2. Your minimum value is 2, isn't it? So I'll put a line there. You can review this in the video anyway. So the minimum is 2. So the minimum value equals 2. In the textbook, they wrote y equals 2, which is okay. So the minimum value is 2. It always refers to the y-axis. And it's not a maximum because it's opens upwards. So it's a minimum point, a low point. Low point, not a high point. Okay, so let's try one more. We'll move it in a different position now. So try to pick up the basic idea. So let's move it down. So we're going to move k, shift it down. Let's go down to 3, but then move the h further. Let's go to 5. There. Okay, so you see what happened now? So we'll write our equation, because you'll have to do this in a minute. I'll go to the whiteboard and you can try some there. So pick up the basic idea. So when I give you a graph, look for the vertex first, this point, because that point will give you the equation, no problem. So find your vertex. So find, or write it first. So find vertex, which is the point HK. Okay, that's this point. So you look at your graph, you can see it's -5, -3. Like that. And this is HK. So you write HK here. So then what I want you to do then is write your general form. So write y equals x minus h squared plus k. Okay, remember k will shift it up and down. H moves it left or right. So then you sub your numbers in. That's the next stage. So you're going to do this a minute on the whiteboard. So I can't shift it, otherwise I'll disappear. Okay, so put your h and k in. So y equals x minus h, which is -5. So -5 squared plus k. When you plus a negative number, it's still negative. So if I went plus -3, it's going to stay -3. The only problem you have is when you subtract negative here. So add a -3 is still -3. So y equals x plus 5 squared minus 3. So this is your equation here for this graph. Okay, do you want to copy that for a minute? And then I'm going to go to the whiteboard and I'll give you a few to practice in a minute. Okay, so just write that down. And your line of symmetry you can add in before we forget. So the line of symmetry would be here, goes on forever. And that number there is -5. So x equals -5. So that's your line of symmetry. MMETRY, cuts your graph in half, okay? And your minimum value is -3. So look at that line there. So that's the low point. So this is the minimum value is -3, this number here. So min is -3 or y equals -3, the same as the book. Like that, that's the minimum value. So if you're walking down, this will be the low point, and then you walk up again. Okay, got that? Any questions? Later in the future lesson, I'm going to teach you how to find the intercepts. And you know how to do this already. We already know how to factorize and complete square quadratic formula. That's the way we do it, okay? But if we have the equation in this form, easy to do. And I'll show you how to do that maybe tomorrow. Okay, we might do that tomorrow or early next week. Okay, I want to share to the whiteboard. And let's, I don't really like this pen very much, but we'll try anyway. Okay, so I guess you can see that. Okay, so so let's write our general form. So you got y equals a. Well, it does have a in it, but we're letting a be 1. So x minus h squared plus k. Okay, so that a will change the shape, but today we'll just let that be 1. So we're going to be using x minus h squared plus k. Okay, so I'll write an equation. I want you to tell me what the vertex is and what is the vertex? So y equals x minus 3 squared minus 4. So you go to your chat box and I want you to write in the vertex, and hk is the vertex. Okay, which comes from, so look at here, and then write your vertex in there, hk. All right, so put that into the chat box. I'll give you a minute. If you're wrong, doesn't matter, just put what you think it is in. hk, what is h and k? It's already there for you. So do that for a minute. Hey, I got 3 answers. You only have to look at the equation. It's already there for you. You don't need to write V, but just put the coordinates. The good thing about this form, we get the vertex from this is the completed square form. So if we can complete square, we can find a vertex. That's one way to find a vertex. There's other ways, but this is a convenient way. We may continue this. I think we're probably going to be online when you go back to school. I don't think we'll go back the first day in semester 2. So we may continue with this work a little bit, because it's important for grade 12, grade 10. Okay, what answers do we have? Let me have a look. Go down. One, 5. Okay, shall we have a look? This doesn't really have, does it have a highlighter? I don't think so, anyway. Purple. Okay, so you've got x minus h, x minus 3. So you can see here that h will be 3, not minus 3. X minus h. So h has to be 3 here. Now, plus -4 is -4. So for the k value, it's really easy. You just basically write the number in. The only problem you have is maybe with here. So when you're doing these problems, the k value will go straight into here. Don't change the sign at all. Don't need to. Okay, so let's do one more. We'll do a few actually. We got 10 minutes. So y equals x plus 2 squared plus 4. Okay, so you put this one in now. Whatever you think it is, put that in the chat box. Tell me what the vertex is. HK. So now we're changing x from x minus h, but now we have an x plus 2. So change that plus to minus minus if you want to write out the full thing. But if you have a question, you can call out or put something in the chat. I'll have a look if you're confused about something. So we're only worried about the vertex now. We're not looking at the shape or whether it's up or down or whatever. So, okay, keep trying. X plus 2. Don't expand it. Don't need to do anything like that. We've only got a few minutes, so I'm going to go into school this afternoon. I want to start putting your grades into the report card business. I think it's 2,4 or minus 2,4. So remember your general form. So when you're doing this one, you're going to have y equals x minus h squared. That's your formula, plus k. Okay, we don't bother writing negative k. It's got to be plus. So we look at this here. We've got a plus 2, which means we're going to have to change this plus 2. So what I do, I'd go y equals x minus -2, which is the same as plus, isn't it? Minus negative is plus. So if I had minus -3 in your calculator, you'll get 3. It will change the sign to positive. And we've got a plus 4 here. So our general form, can I get a different color? We've got h here, which is going to be minus 2. Okay, because that minus sign needs to be there. And k is 4. So your vertex is going to be minus 2, 4. So that might be the confusion. If this is plus 2, this is going to be minus 2. Okay, so use the opposite sign of whatever this is. So if it's plus 2, you write minus 2 here if you have a problem with this idea here. Okay, so let's erase a little bit, maybe the top one. Let's do another one, because it does take a little while. What I'll do now, I'll give you 3 questions. Let me write you 3 equations. So equation 1, y equals x plus 3 squared minus 5. 2, y equals x minus 1 squared. And I'm going to leave that blank. 3, which means it's 0. Okay, 3, y equals x plus, well, let's make it minus. So erase that, x minus 4 squared plus 6. Okay, so in your chat box, can you put those 3 answers in? So just put in the first one like that, the second one like that, and the third one like that. Okay, so put this in your chat box to me. Okay, so look at each equation, just follow this idea here. Okay, we'll do it till we'll do some more tomorrow as well. Okay, do that for a minute. We only have 5 minutes left. So if you don't have a tablet, just write it out in a notebook or paper and then just type it into here. I've got 1 answer, so keep going. Even if you're not sure, put something in, okay, for each one. Notice I wrote nothing on the end here, which means it has to be 0. If something is missing here, it's 0. So that's just one thing to be aware of. I didn't write anything here, did I? So you can make it 0. All right. If it's missing, it's 0. H or K. Okay, I have 6 answers. Keep trying. Just look at this one down the bottom there that I'm still showing. Okay, got 11 answers, so some of you still need to answer. I'll post up the video for today's work sometime, but I didn't record the one from yesterday because it was just basic information. Okay, 13, anyone else? We'll review answer in a minute. So there should be 3 answers that you're giving me. All right, 1, 2, 3, just put them in a line like that. Okay, another minute because we only have a couple of minutes left. I'll clear this bottom one out. Okay, one more coming in. So anyone else? So this kind of stuff will go into your participation for semester 2. All right, so I'll go through and see how many questions you've answered. I'm not really looking if you're right or wrong. Obviously, it's better you're correct. So question 1, we better finish up. So this is +3. So when you see a plus number, change this to -3. That's the quick way to do it. And then copy this number here, -5. But there is a reason why that's -3, and it's because of the formula. So x minus h, h is 1. K was missing, so it's 0. Okay. And then y equals x minus h. H must be 4. And k is whatever number is there, 6. So hopefully you got those 3 correct there. If you saw y equals x squared, we know h and k is 0, 0, 0. We could write that out. Y equals x minus 0 squared plus 0. You see, that's the same thing, isn't it? But we'd never write that out like that, would we? Because 0 and 0 would disappear. So we never write it like this. I'm just showing you now that we know the vertex is hk, the vertex will be 0, 0, like that. But normally we don't write it like that. Okay, we normally write it like this. Okay, we better stop there. I'll just close that. I'll stop sharing now. So we're going to do more of this tomorrow because I think it's good to learn how to graph quickly and not worry about, you know, getting your points and drawing it like this. You can do this on computer. All right, so I think it's better to learn how to sketch quickly. And so I want you to learn how to find like the line of symmetry, the vertex here, which is HK, that's what we're doing now. And also we'll learn how to get the X and Y intercept. Okay, that's enough. And then your line of symmetry here. If you can do that, that's enough for exams, actually. So we don't need the detail like this, which can be done on computer anyway. All right, so I'll stop there and then I'll leave you to work on your worksheet. You got word problem worksheet. Maybe tomorrow we might go through a little bit of that tomorrow for some of you who haven't started it yet. I've got like 4 back, okay, 4 worksheets. And when I get them, I'll mark them, but I haven't returned those ones yet. All right, so I'll talk to you tomorrow then, okay? All right, see you later. Bye-bye. Have a good day and work on your worksheet. All right, take care. See you later.